ओके, रिकॉर्डिंग स्टार्ट। सो डेटाबेस क्या होता है? डेटाबेस जहां पे आप अपना पूरा डेटा लाके जमा करते हो वो हो गया आपका डेटाबेस। वो डेटाबेस में आप डेटा कैसे जमा करते हो वो अगला स्टेप होगा, बट आप कहाँ पे जमा कर रहे हो दैट इज डेटाबेस। सो डेटाबेस क्लियर है राइट? कैसे जमा करेंगे विल सी दैट लेटर, राइट? डेटाबेस क्लियर है सबको?
डेटाबेस सर
ओके, तो अब बात करते हैं डेटा। डेटाबेस क्लियर है ना? मुझे शायद किसी कोई कुछ क्वेश्चन पूछ रहा था, इफ आई एम नॉट रॉन्ग।
एक बार और बताओगे डेटाबेस?
एक बार और बता देते, ठीक है। सो डेटाबेस क्या होता है कि देखो आपके पास डेटा है, ठीक है, आपके पास वीडियो पड़े होंगे, आपके पास फोटोज पड़ी होंगी डेटा के नाम पे, आपके पास मे बी कुछ पैराग्राफ पड़ा होगा, लेटर्स पड़े होंगे, ठीक है। आप उन सारे डेटा को जमा कहाँ पे करते हो, ठीक है, तो वो आपका डेटाबेस बन गया। अगर आप जैसे मान लो आपके ऑफिस में, ठीक है, आपके ऑफिस में सारी फाइल आप एक कमरे में रख दो, तो वो एक तरह से आपका डेटाबेस का रूम बन गया, ठीक है। अगर आपने वो सारी फाइल उठा के एक मशीन पे रख दी तो वो आपका डेटाबेस सर्वर बन गया, ठीक है। तो जब हम कंप्यूटर में आते हैं तो हम डेटाबेस सर्वर्स के बारे में बात करते हैं। हम डेटाबेस रूम्स वगैरह लाइक फिजिकल चीजें नहीं देखेंगे, अब हम वर्चुअल चीजों पे आ गए हैं। तो हम आएंगे, हम बोलेंगे हमने कंप्यूटर पे डेटा स्टोर कर दिया है, तो वो हो गया हमारा डेटाबेस,
ठीक है।
ठीक है। अब बात करते हैं, देखो हमने डेटाबेस सुन तो लिया क्या होता है, बट डेटाबेस होता क्या है एक्चुअली में, दिखता कैसा है। तो बेसिकली देखो, डेटाबेस जो दिखता है वो आपको दिखेगा नहीं। तो आपको डेटाबेस देखने के लिए कुछ तरीके होते हैं जिसको हम बोलते हैं, मे बी आप ऐसा समझ लो कि कुछ एप्लीकेशंस होते हैं जिसके थ्रू हम देखते हैं क्या होते हैं। हम अभी 2 मिनट में देखेंगे फिर से क्या होते हैं, ठीक है। ओके, so not able to understand Hindi. Don't worry, I'll try to explain both in Hindi as well as English. Okay, so what we have done is we have seen what is database. Now let's see how it actually looks when you go inside the industry and start working on it. Okay, so basically there are different types of database आपके बहुत सारे टाइप के हो सकते हैं। मैं आपको दो दिखाता हूँ जो मेरे पास अभी अवेलेबल है। So first one is maybe you can say this is something created by Microsoft company, and similarly you have something called as Postgres. Okay, so this is again a different company but the purpose is same. Like ये जो होने वाला है ये जो है ये आपका डेटाबेस ही है। ओके, सो जस्ट दैट ये अलग अलग कंपनीज बना रही हैं, सो इसको नाम अलग अलग दे दिए गए हैं। तो बेसिकली आप अलग अलग कंपनीज में जाओगे तो आपको माइक्रोसॉफ्ट मिल जाएंगे, ओरेकल मिल जाएंगे, मे बी मोंगोडीबी मिल जाएगा आपको, पोस्टग्रेस मिल जाएंगे, ऐसे बहुत सारे आपको छोटे मोटे और ब्रांड्स भी मिल जाएंगे, मे बी हडूप वगैरह कुछ होता है बट हम उसमें नहीं जाएंगे। बट अब याद रखो, समझ लो कि डेटाबेस क्या होता है एंड डेटाबेस अलग अलग कंपनीज के हो सकते हैं। तो इतना हमने 2 पॉइंट देख लिया, राइट? तो इस चीज में किसी को डाउट है डेटाबेस क्या होता है और अलग अलग कंपनीज के डेटाबेस अवेलेबल होते हैं, इस पे कुछ डाउट है? Guys, any doubt on these two topics, like what is database and what are the different companies available? Okay. Now coming to the next point, ये जो दिख रहा है हमारे पास the screen that is visible to us, what it actually is. Okay, so before that we need to learn something which is called as server and client architecture. Okay, what is server and client architecture? So basically देखो, whenever you go on internet, okay, so जब भी आप कोई रिक्वेस्ट करते हो, whenever you make a request online, suppose if I type, okay, so if I say I want to go to google.com, okay, so मैंने अपने पीसी से एक रिक्वेस्ट ट्रिगर किया, राइट, एंड दैट रिक्वेस्ट वेंट टू समवेयर एंड वहां से मुझे ये इमेज लोड होके आ गई, राइट? इतना इतना क्लियर है सबको? लाइक मैंने एक वेबसाइट डाली एंड दैट वेबसाइट वेंट टू समवेयर, इंटरनेट पे कहीं तो गई, मुझे फर्क नहीं पड़ता कहाँ गई, बट देन कहीं से जाके वो वापस ये इमेज लेके आ गई मेरे लिए, राइट? इतना इतना क्लियर है सबको?
Yes.
Okay, so this is exactly what is server and client architecture. Now let me just show you an image, so like आप ज़्यादा अच्छे से clear हो पाओगे. Okay, so this is my computer. from here I triggered a request. Okay, मैंने बोला boss I want to go to google.com. So I went to google.com. google.com ने मेरा रिक्वेस्ट किया and the server said okay boss इसको google.com की like google की एक image send करो, right? So there is a client which sends a request and that request is being processed inside the server, and that server send me a response, and that response is again visible on my screen, right? So this is what it is called as client server architecture. Now just stay with me for one more minute before we conclude that whether it is one-to-one connection or many-to-one. So there, if you just Google it, anybody, so you can say client and maybe client server architecture. Okay, so if you go to the images, you will find lots of images. Okay, so it is not that we can do one-to-one communication with the server or between a client. It can be multiple clients and a single server. Okay, similarly we can have multiple servers and multiple clients. Okay, so if in a very simple words, what is client? Client is somebody who want to do something and he sends a request to the server. Okay, and the server process that request and send back a response. Okay, so this is what it is called, like what, how do we explain it in technical terms? Okay, so if somebody haven't got it in a technical terms, let me put it into a real life scenario. So देखो, आप एक client हो, आपके पास एक मोबाइल है, राइट? आपका मोबाइल खराब हो गया, ठीक है? तो आपने क्या किया, आपके पास एक सर्विस सेंटर है जिसको आप सर्वर मानो, आपके घर को आप क्लाइंट मानो, और सर्विस जो आपका सर्विस सेंटर है मोबाइल का उसको आप एज अ सर्वर मानो, ठीक है? तो आपको मोबाइल खराब हुआ, आपके मन में एक रिक्वेस्ट है, आपने एक रिक्वेस्ट की मुझे मोबाइल ठीक करके देना है, मतलब मुझे ठीक करके चाहिए, राइट? सो आपने रिक्वेस्ट क्या किया, मुझे मोबाइल ठीक करके दो, आपने एक रिक्वेस्ट सेंड किया, मे बी कोई एजेंट आएगा या फिर आप खुद से जाओगे दुकान, वो क्या बोलते हैं, मोबाइल दुकान वाले को दोगे, दुकान वाला आपकी बातें सुनेगा, मतलब आपकी रिक्वेस्ट को वो प्रोसेस करेगा, मोबाइल ठीक करेगा एंड देन आपको वो रिटर्न करेगा, राइट? सो दिस वे you had a request, you send that request to the service center, that is your server, and from service center you got a response कि बॉस ये आपका मोबाइल ठीक होगा या नहीं होगा, अगर ठीक होगा तो ठीक करके आपको मिल जाएगा, राइट? सो फ्रॉम क्लाइंट, that is from your house, you send a request to the service center, that is your server, and from that server you get a response back to your house, or maybe as a you know as some kind of result to your house back. So like it is from client, you send a request, from server you get a response. Clear? Okay, I guess more people are interested in English only. No. Okay. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so like those people who are trying to like listen this in English, like did you got the point or should I explain it again? I'll try to keep it in English for most of the time. I guess people want it more in English only. Okay, so did you got the concept of the server and the client, or should I repeat once again?
No, sir, we are interested.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I by mistake limit you. Let me just can you unmute yourself and raise the question again, what you were saying? Himanshi, it was, right? Yeah.
Understood the concept.
Okay, so let's now keeping in that mind, right? Once we have the concept of client and server, so just to repeat, client send the request to the server, server process that request, and server send a response or a result to the client, and then it is again shown on the client. So that is similarly what we are doing here. Okay, so the server may not be visible to you right now. Okay, but just imagine it to be somewhere on the internet or maybe somewhere in the backend that is not visible to you. Okay, so let's say once you install this server you will get an idea, but then let's say suppose this is my client. Okay, this is my client where I will be which I will be using to send my request to the customer, right? आप ऐसा नहीं होता ना कि like if you have some issue with the mobile, and it is not like you will be going directly to the Samsung manufacturing unit, right? You will be sending it through some maybe some agent or maybe some courier facility, right? So similarly, you can't access server directly going inside the server. You have to use some client or some interface to access that server. Okay. So how to install SQL Server? I'll not teach you that right now. I'll just share the videos. There are tons of videos available, so we won't be talking about that. Okay, but definitely I'll share the links, I'll share the videos as well. And if you guys are facing an issue, we'll sit outside this call. Okay. So, okay, coming back to the topic, we were saying for accessing a server, you need a way to access the server, right? So the clients that are available on your machine. So like this is server management studio. So this is not the server, this is server management studio. Similarly, if you come here, if you see here, this is PG admin. This is not the Postgres server. Server is installed in the backend, and we are trying to use this client application to access that server. Like clear up to this point? Or
It's clear.
okay. Anybody with like having any doubts on this? Feel free to question, right? We can repeat it for 2 or 3 times, no issues.
No.
Okay. So suppose okay, thank you so much. And let's see. So now we have this connection, like the client ready here. So I will create a connection to a particular server. So my server name, if you see, something like this. Okay, don't focus on the server name. You don't have to do anything with the server name. Just keep in mind there is a server name. Okay, and there is a username and password. So suppose if you are, whenever you are logging to your Facebook account, Instagram account, or maybe not the WhatsApp account, but yeah, like any kind of internet accessible, like earlier you had like maybe yahoo.com, anything. So whenever you log in to that, what actually you are doing is you are sending a request to the customer, to the server, saying that server, please grant me my permissions based upon my login details. Okay, so I have my server name, and I'm saying, server, please allow me to connect to you through this login details. Okay, so TIPCO. Okay, so this is my, so now I have connected to server. So once I have connected to server, I can see what are the things available in the server. Okay, so I hope you got the good idea about what is client, what is server, and how do we access the server. Okay.
Sir.
Yes, sir. Bolo.
So there is a Microsoft SQL Server Management Studio are using in this program.
Yes.
Can we use PG admin and Postgre both of in replacement of the Microsoft Studio program?
Okay, so as I mentioned, right, Microsoft SQL, in short form, it is called as SSMS. Okay, so SSMS is a tool for MS SQL Server. Similarly, PG admin is a tool for Postgres Server. So we won't be talking about Postgres. I have like kept that here just to tell you, like, there are different kinds of server available. So once you have the basic understanding of the server, okay, or what is database and all those things, once you learn a particular tool, maybe you can start with directly with the PG admin. That's not an issue. But for this course, we'll be sticking to SSMS only. So once you understand the tool, once you understand the concept, it will max to max take you 2 days to switch to other tool from DB perspective. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so so at least this point, at this point, are you guys okay with what is like server and client architecture, and how do we access servers through client? We are good with it, right?
Yes.
Okay, so after that, what next step is, once we have connected to the server, next point is, let us understand what is available inside the server. Okay, so I would say, from hierarchy point of view, okay, so first of all, at the highest level, you have a server. Okay, and inside the server you have multiple databases. Inside a single database, you have multiple schemas. Inside a single schema, you have multiple tables. Inside a table, you have multiple columns, and obviously inside a column, you have multiple rows of data. I'll repeat it, and don't worry, I'll try to give us some real life reference as well. We have a question. Let me see. Chats. Maybe I'll use that separate screen for this next time for the chats. Okay. Okay. So Veena, do you have any question? You raised your hands. Okay. I guess not. Okay. So yeah, coming back to the point, inside a server. So suppose we start at the top level, that is server. And after the server, you have something called as databases. Okay, and inside the database you have something called as schema. You may skip the schema part, but then next you have the tables, and inside the tables, I guess everybody is familiar with what is table, right? Like anybody who is not familiar with what is table, like not from the SQL perspective, but just a simple table. What is a simple table, right? Everybody's aware of that, right?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this is what we have. So now if you want to have some connection with the real life, okay, so might be you can say you have a colony, okay, that you can call as a server. Okay, inside the colony you will have multiple buildings. Okay, so what the building is, like you can say those are databases. Inside the buildings you can have multiple flats, okay, that can be your table. And inside the flat you can have multiple rooms that okay, that can be again sorry, let me repeat, start from this beginning. You have a colony, that is your server. You have the buildings, that is your databases. You have the flats, that is your tables. Inside the flat you can have different columns, different types of columns. That is, inside a flat you can have different types of rooms. And how do you want to fill these room, what kind of things that you want to keep in your room, that is up to you, right? So we'll again see this thing one by one, but then right now just go to, like, just have some idea about the hierarchy, right? So you have the, at the highest level you have server. Beneath this, if you see here, on the highest level you have the server. Okay, everybody can see the server, or should I zoom in? Okay, so if I close everything, you have a connection. So we made a connection to a server, right? Everybody clear with this point? Okay, once we are inside the server, okay, once you get inside the colony, you will see multiple databases. See, I have a Power BI. Maybe I can create one more database. Okay, I'll just say test. Okay, I'll say one more database. Okay, so there are multiple database I can create inside a server. Clear up to this point? Okay, after database you can have multiple tables. Okay, we can have multiple tables or schemas. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so up to after table, I guess everybody is familiar with that, so I won't go again into that. So if I just switch to a different tool, right? You said okay, what if we are trying to work on a like PG admin instead of SSMS? So what do you say? We have servers. Okay, so we connect to multiple server. We can have multiple server, no worries. We can, like, through the same client you can have connect to multiple servers as well. Just a second. Okay, once you are inside the server, you will have multiple database. Inside the database you will have multiple schemas. Right now I have only single schema, and inside that particular schema you can have multiple tables, right? Oh, okay, we don't have here table. Maybe in this one I have maybe food mart. So like server, database, the database name, and then schemas, and then inside that I have something called as tables. Okay, so this is how the hierarchy, that, like, this is the very common hierarchy that is being followed across the tools, across the across the servers that follow the concept of structured database. Okay, so I hope everybody is clear up to this point, right?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so now coming to the next part. Obviously we'll see how do we create all those things. Okay, we'll have a hands-on as well. How do we create all these things? But then my like what I'm trying to show you here is, if you learn a single tool and if you understand the concepts behind them, you can switch to any tool very easily. Okay, so if now, even if I even if somebody has Oracle on their machine, just check it out. You will have the same structure. You will connect to a server. Okay, inside the server you have multiple database. Inside the database you will have multiple schemas, and again maybe you can skip the schema level, and then you can have the tables, and inside the tables you will have multiple columns and then rows, so that thing will be there. Okay, so I hope.
Sir,
Yes,
sir,
sir.
sorry to interrupt. Sir, what is schemas?
Okay, what is schema? I'll tell you when we'll create the tables. I know I was expecting this question, but we'll cover that once while we are creating the tables. Okay, but then just if you want to have a quick like one sentence for that, it is like grouping your tables in certain fashion. Okay, so maybe in a database I will have lots of tables. Maybe some tables are related to sales, and some tables are related to maybe management. Okay, so we can define those under different schemas, so that the table name or the tables are not confused for the end user, like the table names are not confusing for the end users. Okay, so if I can just quickly show you, if you see here, I have a production, I have some tables that are related to productions, okay, and some are related to sales. So if you see, like the table name, the table name is brands, categories, products, but the schema is production. And similarly, if you come here, okay, if I come here, maybe I can show you, like right now I don't have multiple schemas. So in a particular schema, I can have multiple tables, and similarly, I can have a inside the same database, I can have another schema for another set of tables. So maybe the way of representing it is different in different tools, but then the logic is same. Like schema is grouping of tables. Okay. Like, do you have, like, if you have any confusion, let me know. Like, please don't settle for any half answers. If you're not clear 100%, let me know, sir. Whatever you're saying is not clear to me, please explain in a different way. I don't have any issues with that.
Yes.
Okay, like, it is not just for Himanshi, it is for everybody. If you don't understand anything, feel free to question it on the spot itself. Sir, this is not clear, please repeat it in a different way. Okay. Okay, so I guess we are good with the at least the structure part, right? So if we see, coming back to the points, so we have seen what is server client architecture, we have seen what is request and response. Okay, what is, now we have also seen what is database and what are the different level of things, or what is the hierarchy that is available in a database or in a database server. If I will, like, I'll be more technical terms, it is like what are the things that are available in a particular database server, right? So are we good with that? Should we move further?
Yes.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay, now next is what is database management. Okay, so basically it is as simple as the name, database manage karna. Like anything that is needed for installing, running, and managing a database, or providing any kind of service to a database, all that thing combined together form the database management. So will you be doing the database management? Answer is clear no. Any guy who is working on the application part of a project, okay, or maybe analysis part of the project, you will never ever touch the database directly. Okay, maybe after 10 or 15 years, when you are an architect in your company, maybe then somebody will take your advice to work on the database, but then you will never be working on the database side. There is a separate team for that, and there are specialized people who will be working on that. Okay, now just why I am telling this, why I am introducing this in this course, because if something goes wrong in your company, you should have a clear bifurcation, right? Okay, boss, this is my role, I have this much of access, and I understand what are the next steps. So maybe that need to be passed to a different team. Okay, so like, just to have an quick overview of what database management actually includes. So basically it will include your installation of the server. It will include your like creating of the structures, like what are the different database need to be created, what are the schemas and tables, all those things will be created before you start working on the project. Okay, so all those things will be there for you when you go to any company. Okay, maybe after creation of tables and databases, who all will have the access? So like access management, or I would say authentication and authorization. And after that, if there is any kind of changes or modification to be made, or any kind of maybe deletion or something, so like random, in simple words, if any kind of modification need to be done, that will again go to the database management team. So there is a separate team for that in any organization, and you won't be working on that, maybe, as I said, after 10 or 15 years, but then right now you won't be even questioned on that, even in interview. Okay, so whatever, like we'll walk through some of the steps that will be that you will require when you sit in front of the interviewer, but then there will be no in-depth question on the data management, so be assured about that. Okay, so but I hope everybody got what is actually database management, right?
Yes.
Okay, now next part is what is queries. Okay, so just to confirm again, I hope everybody is with me at this point, right? Nobody is sleeping, nobody is bored, and everybody is ready to open his mic and ask question if there is anything. Okay, okay guys, be active, like
Yes.
Okay.
don't be like that first standard
Uh,
guys.
Sir, I have a question for you.
Sure.
Sir, how much classes have you done right now?
This is our first lecture, like from learning perspective, this is first lecture. Before this we had only one lecture that was more of an introduction kind of thing.
Okay.
Okay, sure.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, no worries. Okay, so I guess
Sir, can you please tell me about server client architecture, because that time I was not available.
okay, we'll quickly. Okay, sure. I'll explain in brief, and if you have any question, you can call me after the call, right? Because we have already discussed, but then obviously I will tell you. So client and server architecture is like maybe आप ऐसा समझो कि आपको कोई चीज करवा के चाहिए, राइट? आप क्या करते हो, आपको मे बी आधार कार्ड बनवाना है, तो आप क्या करते हो, आप आधार कार्ड सेंटर पे जाते हो, राइट? तो मतलब क्या करते हो, आप एक रिक्वेस्ट लेके आधार कार्ड सेंटर पे जा रहे हो, और आधार कार्ड सेंटर वाला आपकी रिक्वेस्ट को पूरा करके आपको आधार कार्ड बना के दे रहा है ना? और आप सिर्फ अकेले जाते हो, मे बी कोई दूसरे गांव से आ रहा होगा, मे बी कोई दूसरी बिल्डिंग से आ रहा होगा, तो देखो ऐसे बहुत सारे लोग हैं जो एक ही सेंटर पे जा रहे हैं। सो जो आप लोग रिक्वेस्ट लेके जा रहे हो, तो आप लोग क्लाइंट हो कि मुझे कुछ काम करा के चाहिए,
बिल्कुल,
ठीक है? जो बंदा या फिर जो सेंटर काम करके दे रहा है, दैट इज सर्वर, कि हाँ भाई वहां पे जाओगे तो सारा काम हो जाएगा, और फिर वो आपको बदले में एक रिस्पॉन्स देगा, ठीक है? या तो आपको एक रिजल्ट देगा कि देखो ये आपका काम नहीं हो पाएगा, या तो रिस्पॉन्स देगा, या तो आपको आधार कार्ड बना के दे देगा। तो बस यही फंडा है। जब आप यही चीज कंप्यूटर पे लेके आते हो, कि जैसे आप बोलते हो मुझे facebook.com पे जाना है, तो जब facebook.com पे आप जाना चाहोगे, फेसबुक वाला या तो बोलेगा यार आप नहीं जा सकते क्योंकि आपके पास इंटरनेट नहीं है, या फिर आप मेरे तक पहुंच ही नहीं पाए, या फिर कुछ भी करके, या तो कोई इन्फॉर्मेशन दे देगा, या तो फिर आपको वो फेसबुक का लॉगिन पेज पे लाके छोड़ देगा आपको, है ना?
okay, so basically this is a place where we can go with our request.
Yes. So basically, if you see this image I have here, simple image. So you are a client, you have a request, you go to the server, you tell them, boss, I have a request,
got
please
it, sir.
Okay, chalo. That's
Thank
fine.
you very much.
No worries. Okay, so I hope we are good with it, and you guys were able to take a small break while I was explaining this client architecture. So let's move to the queries. Okay, so now from here, whatever we are discussing, we'll be doing actually hands-on as well for it. So I hope the theory part is clear. You guys have some idea about what is database, and all those things are like good enough to know. And now let's start with the queries. So first of all, let's understand queries kya hoti hai. So if you go to a bank, right? If you go to a bank, and if you like, it is not like you directly. Okay, I have a chat here. Okay, voice is not audible, please suggest. Yeah, devices ka main kuch nahi kar sakta, aapke devices ka, so you will have to take care of that, guys. Maybe just restart or maybe rejoin this session. Okay, so let's get back to the queries. Okay, so basically if you enter a bank, right? If you enter a bank, it is not like you directly jump to somebody and say, boss, I want to make the transaction, or I have a issue with the check, or I want to print my passbook, right? It is not like that. When you go to the bank, there is a reception, or maybe mostly in SBI there is a watchman, right? So you go to the watchman and you say, मुझे check का query है. Okay, so वो बोलेगा go to this particular section of bank. And similarly, if you have a query regarding your passbook, he would say, boss, go to this particular section of, maybe different section of the bank. Or if you want to you do some cash transaction, he would say go to this third section of the bank, right? So basically my question is, my point is here is, if you have different kind of queries, you categorize them in different way, right? Is it right? Like if you have different kind of queries, you categorize.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, so okay, before that, just if If by any chance, if anybody does not know what is query, can anybody just tell me what is really a literal meaning of the queries, right? The literal meaning of queries, what is it? Just in English.
A doubt.
Question.
To
It is an
take out some
information to give.
Yeah, queries.
Information to give.
Yeah, query is like I'm seeking for an information, or maybe I have a
Information,
question.
yes.
I have a question, right?
Requesting
Yes.
for information.
Yes,
So
yes.
it's just like an inquiry.
Inquiry, yeah, like queries. So inquiry, yeah, like inquiry, question, or maybe I'm seeking for some information. So anything that correspond, like that falls in this category is query, right? Right. Okay. So, but when it comes to SQL, right, it is slightly different. Okay, so any kind of request that you have is called as query. The request can be any query. Like I want to, I will go to I'll go to the server and say, boss, I want to create a table. That is also a query. I don't seek any information, but I have a request from my side. So any kind of request that you go with to the server, that is your query in terms of SQL. Okay, like that is clear.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so in SQL, you say any kind of request that I want to make with the server, that is query. So now the request can be of different types. So that means the query can be of different types. So basically, if I can just quickly show you, so there are something called as DDL. Okay, I'll quickly scroll down. There is something called as DML. There is something called as DCL. There is something called as TCL, and maybe last one, DQL. What is this? We'll definitely see. Don't worry. अभी ये सब like सुनने में बहुत मजा आ रहा है या फिर नहीं मजा आ रहा, जो भी है. But this is very simple, like basic things. Okay. So DDL, the full form is data definition language. Okay. So data definition language. What do you mean by define? So when can anybody tell me like what do you mean by definition of something? Anybody?
Elaborating.
Sorry.
Elaborating particular thing.
No, your voice is not clear to me.
It is a proper meaning of
just what do you understand by definition? That's it. Like जो भी आपको मन में आता है, आपने सुना है definition.
किसी चीज
it's
को
a
brief में
meaning of
बताना.
that it's a meaning of that word, proper meaning of that word.
Okay, proper meaning of that word. Okay, so basically I would say not exactly the meaning word, but definition means like you are defining like how that thing is. So if I say you define the computer, obviously you won't say computer is a tool that is used for calculation and all this. What you will say, okay, my computer is of blue color, maybe it has the screen size is like 19 inches and all those things. But then you start defining what you see or what you know about that, right? Like I can put you two things, right? I can say maybe you differ by literal meaning of if you're writing an answer in the exam, obviously you will tell the technical part. But then in general, if I say define somebody, like define maybe a girl or maybe a boy, right? You won't go into the technical aspect of it. You just say, okay, I want this that is something or I would say rough sketch kind of thing, right? When you say define somebody, right? Or I'm confusing it. Okay, let's start fresh. So when you say define, okay, let me go into technical terms. If you guys don't get it, let me know. I'll try to correlate it with the real life example. Okay, so when you say defining, so data defining. So actually we are not defining data. It is like we are defining how that data will be stored. Okay, so what does that mean? It means I will decide how my database will be created, how my schema will be created, what kind of table will be created, and inside the table, what kind of data needs to be stored. I'm not actually storing data. I'm saying what kind of data needs to be stored. All these things I'll define in prior. I'll repeat it. Okay. When you say data definition language or data DDL or maybe just data definition, what you are saying is I'm just defining, boss, in my particular server. Okay, this is the way I'm going to store my data. I'm not actually storing data. I'm just proposing a plan. This is how it is going to be stored. Is that clear? Like, does that make sense to you guys?
Yes, sir.
Right. Anybody like having any query on this?
हेलो
यस 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 बोलिए. ओके गाइस, किसी को कोई क्वेरी है, लाइक कोई डाउट है इसमें? आई नो थोड़ा सा मे बी शायद गलत तरीके से मैंने पढ़ा दिया इसको, लाइक फर्स्ट वाला जो पार्ट था, बट सेकंड पार्ट आई गेस इट इज फेयर इनफ, राइट? कि जब आप
तो ये जो क्रिएट डेटाबेस यूनिवर्सिटी के नाम से बनाया आपने, हेलो,
हाँ हाँ
तो इसमें आपने, इसमें यूज नहीं आएगा सर बीच में इसके?
ये जो क्रिएट ये वाला पूछ रहे हो आप?
हाँ, क्रिएट
नहीं नहीं नहीं,
डेटाबेस यूनिवर्सिटी।
वो छोड़ दो, वो छोड़ दो. I'll come to that. अभी जस्ट मैं इतना पूछा हूँ, डिड यू गाइस गॉट द मीनिंग ऑफ डेटा डेफिनेशन? लाइक कि मैं
Yes,
ये
sir, yeah.
मैं ये बोल रहा हूँ कि when you say data definition, you are not actually putting the data or inserting any kind of data. You are just saying, boss, this is the way my data is going to be stored in a particular server. Okay, इतना क्लियर है? Okay, अगर इतना क्लियर है
ठीक
तो
है।
okay, इतना क्लियर, sorry, इतना क्लियर, तो let's move forward and say कि what is my next step. So once I have decided, like boss, मेरा टेबल जो है और जो मेरा डेटा सोर्स है वो मेरे टेबल में कैसा बनने वाला है, right? So we can say in a particular server I will have two databases, and maybe inside a particular database I will have so and so tables, okay? And maybe in a different database I will have so many tables. But then right now I am just defining the blueprint of the structure, okay? So like it's like I'm creating the vacant buildings in a society. I'm not actually filling people or filling anything inside the buildings. I'm just creating a empty buildings inside the society, right? So now you got the idea, right? Of what level we are right now in terms of database. Okay, so we have just created a structure, and we are yet to fill any kind of data or any kind of information inside my structure. Okay, so that is what data definition means. Okay, now coming to the data manipulation. Now since I have my structure ready, okay, using my DDL, since I have my structure ready, now I'm ready to move in my flat, right? Move inside my flat. So that is like, now since I have my structure ready inside the database, I can actually insert data. Okay, so basically now you are handling the data. So that is like data manipulation. So data defining, you define how my structure is going to be. Data manipulation, now I'm actually manipulating my data, and I'm actually doing something with my data. So that can be, that can be inserting a data, that can be changing some data, that can be removing some data. Okay, so they're like maybe inserting, update and delete. But then now whatever I'm doing is really done on my data. We are clear at this
Sir,
point?
manipulation meaning is when you are not following the instructions, something like that.
No,
Like SOP violations, manipulation.
No, manipulation is a literal meaning of the manipulation is like you want to change something as per your requirement. That is
Yes.
when you say, so you say, right, that maybe political leader was manipulating their followers, right? So you are trying to like change the things as per your conditions. Okay. Okay, so but you got the idea, right? What is difference between data declaration and data manipulation? Are you guys clear on that, or should I try to explain it in a different way?
Sir, can you explain in the different ways?
Okay. Okay, so see there are two aspects to it. First, I'll maybe just say we have a table and we have some data, and I want to insert that data in a particular table. Okay. Okay, so now if I create a blank table, okay, up to this part, it is called as data definition. What I'm saying is I have just created a blank table. The step at which, like up to which I am creating a blank table, that is my data definition. Now I'm actually putting my data inside the table and then changing that data or maybe playing with that data. That is my data manipulation. So data declaration is like creating the blank table or creating a blank structure, and data manipulation is like putting that data into the table and then changing it as per my requirement. Is it clear now?
Yes,
Yes, sir.
Okay, is it clear? Just about as I mentioned, right? While theory, is it clear up to 50%, not 100% or not 90%? Maybe just 50% is clear.
Yes, sir. Manipulation is clear, sir.
Okay, so it is, if it is clear 50%, let's move on. I'll make sure it is up to 90% or 100% clear when we do the actual hands-on. Okay, so there is something after this. There is something called as DCL. We really won't be doing this. Okay, TCL. This also we won't be doing because these are things that are related to DB admin. Okay, so we don't be going into that. I can explain you, but I guess that will be confusing at this point. Okay. And the last part is data query. What I'm saying is, once we had the blank table, we inserted that table, we inserted some data inside the table. Okay, now what we are actually doing is we are trying to read that data outside table. What I'm saying is, again, there are three steps. I created a blank table, I've inserted some data inside it, and now I'm trying to read that data. Okay, three steps here. I have a blank table, I insert some data inside the table, and now I have to read that table. These three steps are clear? Guys, sorry. These three steps are clear, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so
Yes, sir.
the third step, that we are reading the data from the table, that is called as data query language. Okay, so three steps. First one is we create a table, or second step is insert some data, or maybe change some data, and third part is we just read whatever is available inside the table. Okay, so these three are the main ones that we'll be doing. And maybe apart from that, as I mentioned, right, there's some function related to the permissions that is done through data control. And there is some whether you want to keep it, some like whether you want to save the changes or not, that is something to do with the TCL. So you don't need to focus on these two, but if somebody has interest, let me know. We can discuss these things outside the call itself. Okay. Okay, so I guess we are done with the, we are at least 50% clear with the what is data declaration, what is data manipulation, and what is data query. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So let's let me see if we have missed anything else. Okay, now data queries is done. What are different types of query we just saw? Okay, and let's actually create a database and all those things. Okay, so basically, if you see, as I mentioned, right, anybody has seen Linux servers, or what is Linux machine, or maybe apart from Windows, any other operating system? Anybody aware of that?
Yes,
Ubuntu.
sir.
Okay,
Yes.
Ubuntu. Okay.
Yes, sir. I am aware about the Linux server, sir.
Linux also. That's great. So what my point here is, the way that you see here. Okay, so this is a client, right? I'd say this is I would say more clearly, this is a client application. Okay, so here we have everything in GUI mode. What does it mean? Like everything is available as per my click. I can click on the things. But when you work in industries, there is a possibility that you won't be having this this UI perspective. Maybe if you're working on a Linux, you won't have all these things. Okay, so I will not go into the command line option, but then I'll just give you like how things will be different. Okay, so suppose if I have to create a table in my server, sorry, let's start with the database. Suppose if I have to create a database inside my server, so right now if I have this client, or if I have this client application, maybe I can just click on right click and I said create a new database, or I would say it is test DB, maybe test DB. Okay, so it is as simple as creating a database, it is as simple as that, creating a new database. I'll just refresh it and I have my new database ready here, right? So like you guys got the point of creating a database, right? So like even if you guys don't understand completely, trust me, you are never going to do this on your actual work environment, but then I would really recommend if you guys can have like at least understand how this thing works. So that way you will have a better picture of your work profile as you go inside the company. Okay, so did you guys see like how I created a simple database? Okay, just a right click, new database, you give it a name and you click OK, and a new database is created. Okay, Okay. Now next thing is, suppose if I don't have this this UI part, obviously, so as I mentioned, right, in database, everything that you do or every request that you give, that comes through a query. Okay, so maybe what you can do is, either you can click here, or maybe just add a new query. Okay, and you can just say create database, maybe my test db2. Okay, so if I just execute this one, you see, if I just refresh my connection, you can see inside my database you have test db2. Okay, so there are two ways. Either you can go through the interface, or you can go through the queries. Is that clear to everybody?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I know, like, if like right now you might be thinking like, okay, how can we do it on my side? So before we move further, I would just show you how you can install this all these things. Okay, there's a chat I missed. Your voice is not getting, I can't do anything about that. Yeah. Okay, so you can just go to microsoft.com or just search for MSSQL server. Okay, or maybe just download, and the first link that you get from the microsoft.com, just click on that. Okay, and when you are here, go for a you can just download for the express version and download it. Okay, what happened? Hello guys, can you guys hear me, or is my internet down? Hello?
Yes, we can hear you
Yes,
now.
sir.
Okay, so I don't know why this is not working, but then you can download it from here. Okay, maybe there's some issue with the server right now, so you can download it here, or maybe you can just download developer as well. I'm not sure why it is not working for me. Okay, once you have that downloaded, you will have something like maybe I can just show you.
So after downloading now, there are three options are coming. Select an installation type: basic, custom, and download media. So which one to choose?
Just go with the basic one. Okay,
Okay, thank you.
you really don't need to understand how that is being done, but you can just go with the basic one, and that will be sufficient for you. Okay, okay, so here it is being downloaded. So you will get something .exe file. Okay, you can save it and at any location and just run that file. And when you open that file, you will get something like as Himanshi mentioned, right? You will get three options, so you guys just go with the basic one. No need to go for the customized one. Okay, and once you have that server, or maybe just you can simply go to the YouTube. Okay, and just search for why is it my PC slow? Okay, just go for MS SQL installation on Windows 10 or whatever version you have. You will get tons of videos, and just follow anyone, and you will be able to do it. Okay, will get the recorded videos. Yes, you will get the recorded video. But guys, trust me, don't don't depend upon the recorded videos. Obviously it will be available to you, but trust me, after 2 or 3 sessions, if you miss 2 or 3 sessions, you will lose the connectivity with the current batch, or maybe current situation in the in the classes. So try to be available in the live session itself. Okay, so you can just in MS SQL installation in Windows 10. So there you can get tons of videos. You can just go through anybody of that. Not this one. This is my SQL. Okay, my bad. MS SQL. Okay, so now you have all these videos available here. So you can follow any one of these, and then you can do. Okay, so this one, I guess it is trying to show off basic one. So just follow anyone, and you will be done. And maybe from tomorrow you can actually do hands-on with side by side as well. So for today, once I am once I am done with the demo part or the lecture, maybe if somebody is interested, you can take my control and try to create all those things in my PC itself. And I would really recommend in the last 30 minutes of this session, let's try to be more active, and we'll really do hands-on, like somebody else will be doing hands-on either on my machine, or maybe you can just share your screen. Okay, so I'll allow you to share your screen as well. Okay, so getting back, like I hope you guys are good with installation part, right? Like I don't think anybody is very new to the computers or installation things. So there is nothing out of box, like a different, or maybe say anything new. You can just have download the file, click next, and you'll get it. Okay. Or if anybody has doubt, reach out to the management and let me know, and I'll tell you the steps, or maybe just directly call me. We can install that on your local machine. Okay.
Sir, have some doubt. This is Swapnil, and this is my first lecture, actually, first session. Sir, I want to know what kind of topics you're going to cover. We only going to cover Power BI or SQL and all?
No, we will be covering SQL and Power BI.
So both SQL and
Yes, yes.
Power BI you are going to cover, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
And
Too much of noise, guys.
So I want to
sir,
know it from your end, like what are the job opportunities and how we should, like after completion of this course and all.
Okay, Swapnil, like we had discussed this in the last session, so maybe
I'm so sorry, it's my first session, sir,
yeah,
so
yeah,
that's why.
I understand, no issue. That is very genuine question. Maybe we can discuss this once we are done with the like what we are going to learn today, and maybe after call maybe we can sit together.
Fine.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Any question about what we have done, like what we have gone through in today's session? Or like, or should I proceed with the hands-on thing, or maybe the demo part? Okay, so I guess no question. So let's start. Let's continue. Okay, so now if I say let's try to link everything. Okay, so right now if you see there, I had told you, right, there is something called as DDL, data definition language. Okay, so right now what I'm doing is I'm creating a database. Okay, after that what I'm doing is I'm creating maybe creating a schema. Okay, so maybe schema name maybe say test schema. Okay, and after that maybe I'll create a table with say maybe say student name, or maybe student std list, student list, maybe stud list. Okay, so I'll tell you one by one how this thing works. Okay, but then I have one more question. Please share your personal contact number. I will share. Okay, maybe after this call, after this session. Okay, so once I have created a database, as I mentioned, right, inside the server you will have a database, and inside the database you can have a schema. Okay, if I just create this one, so we have a schema. So in MS SQL, I don't think like there is no separate way to see what are the schemas available, but maybe when I create a table, I can mention this table to be linked to a particular schema. Okay, so when I create this one, okay, if I say execute, maybe I did something wrong. Test test schema dot stud list. Okay, let me see. Incorrect syntax near stud list, or maybe just create default schema. Okay, what happened? Create createtable. Maybe I'll just what are the basic queries? Create table. What I'm doing now? Where am I? Just a minute, guys. Just a minute. Where it is?
Sir, use database command.
Use database command is when you have like right now I have created, like I'm doing everything from the scratch, right? So I am on the same database. If you want to switch to a different database, then you use the correct database.
Okay, it's not necessary to always use the use database.
No, like if you want, I can try use that is test db2. Okay, and maybe now I can just hit this one, and maybe now I can try. Now there's some syntax. Create table.
Semicolon.
No, that is not required here. Maybe Okay, maybe I'll create a fresh query. Maybe I'll just, so if you see, like if I come from here, okay, if I come from this page to the query window, okay, then I might have to like I will have to define which database to use. But suppose if I am coming from something like this, right? So here I'm already inside the test DB, if you see, right? This server name dot test DB. So I'm already inside the particular database. Create database, table name, database one. Sir, wait, try karo. So maybe create, maybe let's see, create create table, maybe test, maybe not test, stud list, and let's see if this works. Oh,
It won't work. We have to define the table no? By giving a varchar integer, whatever rows we want.
exactly. Sorry, my bad. Obviously, so what you will do is you will have the column names as well, obviously. My bad. Whew. Okay, so what we'll say, let me just use a query right now here. Maybe I had some queries, basic queries, creating a database. I have done that. Okay, create a table name with a, okay, we'll just create this one for now. Okay, simple one. Okay, so maybe this one, and maybe up to this point only. Okay, and bracket close everything. Okay, hi kya
Correct syntax.
let me see what I'm doing wrong after this. Okay, my bad. I was putting that semicolon in the wrong place. Okay, so like once you have created a table, that will be obviously visible. You have to refresh it, and that will be visible in your tables section inside the tables. Okay, so this is how you will be defining. And apart from this, you can use this query method, or you can just go to here and create a new table. Okay, and inside the table you can just say my column, say maybe I just want to have maybe say roll number, maybe data type will be integer. What is data type? I'll cover it more in depth when we go to the Power BI, because the terms that are used for a same data type inside the MS SQL and inside the Power BI, that might be different. So just for now, at this point, if you guys want to understand what is data type, you can just remember three or four major type. That is, first one is number, second one is the first one is number, second one is spelling or string, third one you can say like a date type. Okay, so like these three are the major one, and obviously there are images and all those things, but then what will be,
But in SQL, string doesn't work. I think character varchar and char will
that's
are
what
used, I guess.
I'm coming to it. So that's what I'm saying if you want to just have an overall picture, you can just say there are three type of data set available. That is integer, or maybe just numbers. Okay, so you don't have numbers inside the SQL, you have integers and float and all those things. But then I'm just saying from overall perspective, you can say there is numbers, there are this thing, there are strings, okay, that is spellings, and then spellings, or you can call them as text, and then third one is your date type, date and time. Okay, so these three things are there. So right now let's just say for these integers we are just using for the numbers we are using integers. For the let's say we want to have the first name. Okay, for first name we can say we want to use varchar. Okay, there is something called as nchar, varchar, so you don't need to really focus on those things. Like nchar is like when you have the fixed number of characters, varchar is like where you will have the dynamic allocation of the memory depending upon the input that you have for that particular cell. Okay, so all those things in detail you don't need to worry because in data, when you switch to Power BI, you will have options to change the data type as well. And also like if you don't need to understand difference between integer and float at this point, because in when you switch to Power BI, when you import data, you can control the decimals and all those things. So from presentation perspective, that won't be a very big issue for you guys. Okay. Okay, so let's go to the last name, and let's say again we are saying var character variable, and maybe we just want this to be identifier, row identifier, or you can say identity column, or maybe you can say a column where all the values will be unique and none of the rows will be empty. Okay, so that kind of thing you can define. And when you save this, just Control S and just define a table name. Maybe we can say roll numbers. Okay, and say okay. And now when you are down here, if I refresh the table, you can have everything here. So you have the roll numbers and the student details as well. Okay, so up to this point, everybody is clear? And or anybody want to try on this PC right now, like through the
Sir, I just want to understand this one, roll number, INT, and should we mention these things sequence wise, or randomly you are putting these details?
Okay. So right now, initially when you're creating a tables, these things need to be in sequence. So like if I can just quickly select star from, I would say just copy the name and just say here, maybe I just delete that part. And if you see here, okay, so this the sequence that you're using, roll number and the first name, that will be again available here. Or maybe you can just say last okay, that will be again a different table. So that way, like the way the sequence that you are initially defining, that sequence will be that is the sequence how the column will be created inside the table. So right now if you see, like it is a blank table, that's why you don't have any value. But then if I can just create a query for you, okay, so
but sir, sometimes what happens, it is showing the error that mentioned details are incorrect, something like that. So how we can actually I'm not understanding this. First you mentioned the roll number, after that what is INT?
Okay. That like, no, I'm saying okay, I'll tell you everything in detail. But my point at this point is, like at this point, did you guys, like how do we create a table? Obviously the detail part we are going to cover, but then you just got idea about how do we create a table, right? Where do we, like what are the different two approaches? We can either create it from the query, or we can use the like a UI interface. Okay,
but why it is showing the error in red
where
color sometimes
initially
earlier? Yeah.
earlier, because I was trying to create a table and without any definition of column. So if I just, like I was doing it wrong way. So like,
so should we remember these things, like first of all we need to put this detail and after that that will come, after
yes,
that this will come?
yes. That is when, as you guys practice, or as you guys write 5 or 10 queries, that will be very much straightforward. I don't know that, like that was a very silly mistake on my side, I would say. Okay, so when you say create table, say maybe test table. Okay, and after that you say I want to have 2 columns. Okay, so maybe my first column is, say I'll just name it first call. Okay, first call, and that is going to be my integer. And that is that I need to, like either I can say, well, okay, I need to, it can be blank or not, that also I can define. So if I say not null, it means that that column has to, like that column will have for each row in that column there has to be a certain value that cannot be null. We cannot skip that value. Or maybe if I can say second column, okay, maybe that can be a var char. That means that will store a that will store a spelling. Okay, var char, okay, that will store a spelling. And maybe this can be a null value, so I won't mention it. Okay, so maybe I'll say first column में हर रोज में मेरे पास वैल्यूज होनी चाहिए, एंड सेकंड कॉलम में मेरे पास कहीं कहीं पे रोज में वैल्यू नहीं भी हुई तो भी चलेगा. ओके, सो if I just quickly close this one, Okay.
So one more bracket, one more parenthesis. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Select column not null comma here. My bad. Okay. So this thing, so this way, like what I have told is create a table. Okay, where I want my first column to be an integer and it cannot be empty. My second column to be a string or maybe a spelling with maximum of 50 characters. Okay, and then it will create a table for me. And if I just refresh it, uh, the table name is test, so it is available here. And no, okay, and inside that table, if I my bad, it is db, sorry. Inside the test table, okay, I have this table here. So if you see test table, by default it has taken the schema as dbo. Okay, and yeah, so inside that table you have the columns, and inside that columns you have first column and second column. First column is an integer and it cannot be null. Second column is a variable string character, or you can say a value which can hold up to 50 characters, and that can be null. So this is how you can define all those things. Okay.
All right. Mhm.
Okay, so do we have any questions up to this point?
No.
Okay, why to use somebody has asked, why do we use semicolon? Semicolon is like the end of my single query. If I have multiple queries, like if I just say select star from student details, maybe select star from maybe some other table. Which table can we say? Maybe roll numbers. Okay, so what I'm saying is through this semicolon that, okay, like my first query ends here and my second query is ends here. So select star. So that is the use of semicolon here. Okay, so if I just run these two queries, okay,
So
and then
without semicolon, sir, it will not work.
no, it will work. It will work without semicolon as well if I select this particular single query. But the problem is it will not understand where my first query is ending and where my second query is starting. So if I don't put it this way, okay, if I run this one, okay, so if you see here, since these select statements are like it was able to understand, but then down the line, if you move for the complex queries, you will have to define like, okay boss, this is my first statement where it is ending, and after my semicolon my second statement will start. Okay.
So
Okay, and is it making any graph somewhere? Like you are putting the kind of codes over here and
So
any shortcuts. Yeah.
graphs, you mean? By graph you mean?
Like any table it is making
So
by
yeah.
putting these details.
Okay, right now at the bottom, if you see, it is giving a blank table only. So if I can just show
Mm-hmm.
you a query where I have some, so say select, suppose if I come to this database, okay, I'll show you the use of use word as well. So if I say use, since right now I'm in a table, I'm in database just db2, right? So now I'm going to use my Power BI database, and inside that I'll be using a table that is production brand. Okay, so I would say use Power BI. Okay, and then I would
Mm-hmm.
say select star from maybe production dot maybe brands. Okay, so now if I run this query, okay, you will see even though right now my query window is from test db2, I can go to a different database, and then from there I can get the data of the of any table. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so at the bottom you will see all the results that are available. Okay,
Yeah.
so like at least we are like you guys got the idea, right? How do we create the queries, or how do we create, sorry, not the queries, how do we create the tables, right? or do you guys have any questions? So maybe I'll just in a simple words, what do you say? You say create, and you say table, okay, and then you say a table name, okay, and then once you have the table name, you like have a bracket open and close bracket, and inside that you start say with I want to have a column name, maybe say column 1, which will be of integer type, maybe or some other type, and maybe it won't be a null, okay, and maybe I can have column 2, which will be again integer, and it can be a null value, okay. Instead of semicolon, I want it to be comma, and my third column, maybe say I want to have col 3, and this time it is going to be a varchar, okay, or maybe you can just say no, I want it to be a fixed size, so n char, okay, n char of say 10 characters, and then I don't want it to be blank at any point of time. I will say not null, okay, and then after this everything is done, I'll have a semicolon, and maybe I can just execute it, okay. So if you just refresh this one, and then you can see a table, a test table name, a table with the table name is created, but right now I guess I created it here. Maybe I use the wrong database. Okay, I'll just.
So, sir, as actually I'm new with this SQL. So what I'm, as per my understanding, so whatever you'll put here, logic wise, so these things will appear here down, like commands, complicated,
Right here,
successful.
yeah. So like, okay. So from user interface, so basically this is the window where you write the query, and this is like where your results come, and this is what this window shows the structure of your database. What are the things available in this database? Okay, so like I was planning to have some kind of
First of all, I need to understand, first of all I need to understand this course which you are putting over here, like.
No, that is what that we'll be covering in this session. That's what I'm saying. I'm just trying to give you a demo, and then once we are so like now you have seen, right, how do we create a table. So now I will request, like, if anybody is interested, try to request for a control. I will give you control, and I will walk you step by step how do you create a table, and what each and every word in the statement means. Okay. So that's what I'm planning to do right after this demo is done. So right, like around 9:30 we'll start with the hands-on session. So we won't be covering any new topic today. After 9:30 we'll be just practicing the things that we have learned today, so that it is not like we are just like we won't be just running the course. I want you guys to try here itself. I know after the course there are many people who won't even try it after course, and next day you will be again sitting with the same understanding level.
Okay, let me talk to my friend. He also want to join.
Oh, sure. So okay, so now, okay, coming back to the points, what we are going. So okay, we have created a database, right? We have learned how to create a database through the command as well as through the interface. If I can just quickly repeat everything, so that last time it was a bit messy, so I'll delete everything, and then we'll create let's start from the scratch again. We'll delete this one, we'll delete this one, we'll delete this one as well. Okay, so let's start from the beginning. So I'm at this point, let's connect. I want to create a new query, so I will create a database. Okay, so back simple, like we are creating something, so we are saying I want to create a database. Okay, and that the name of the database will be say test, maybe some other name if anybody want to show, but let's go with the test DB. Okay, I have this, and maybe once I run this, okay, so I have this successfully executed, and after that if I'll refresh the table, you will see in the database you have the test DB ready, but right now there are no tables inside it, right? So since there are no tables inside it, let's create a table. We'll say so we may either have the schema, or we can skip the schema part and jump to table. Okay, so right now let's just skip the schema part. Maybe in next chapter, or like, do you guys want me to go through the schema part, or like should we directly jump to the table?
So schema part of.
Okay, so let's say let's create create a schema, and maybe we'll create the schema by the name of maybe class. Okay, so like it is a class. Okay, and maybe after that we'll create a class dot maybe student, or maybe some say books table. Okay, what are the books that are being used in a class? Okay, and then we'll say we want to have something, we want to have 3 or 4 columns. So my first column will be like subject. Okay, subject, that will be varchar, that is going to be my string. Okay, maybe of 50 length again, or maybe just 30 length, because subject won't be more than 30. Okay, maybe I want to have another column, not subject, subject. Maybe I want to have another column that will be like what should we have? We can have something like maybe number of pages. Okay, that can be an integer number, and that can be again of, let's say, page number. Integer, we don't need to define size. Okay, and then maybe I'll just close it, and maybe I'll just run first this statement. Okay, we have a schema created, and after that we can just have the what is class use in a create unknown object class I have created there. Okay, so class dot schema dot books. Okay, let's skip for it now. I'll just see if it is working this way. No, there is something with the create statement. Create class dot schema dot table name, and then subject. Maybe I can just change it to sub, because that is using a keyword. And right now let's see. Class usage create drop and alter unknown object type class. That's the problem. Okay, let's drop it for now. Should be working right now. Books. Arey yaar, my bad. I'm such a silly thing. Create table, bro. Okay, now it is done. Okay, so we are trying to create a table with the class schema, and the table name will be book. So we will have 2 tables, 2 rows, 2 columns. And then that if I refresh my table, and if I go to the databases, and that is my test DB. Inside the test DB, if I go to tables, now if you see what happened, I'm inside my master. My bad. Maybe I'll do the same thing using use test DB. Okay, now I can done this. Create schema must be the first statement. ठीक है भाई. So this way, like going through the errors and all those things. कहाँ चला गया मैं? Maybe master tables. If I just refresh it. No, Power BI में tables में नहीं यार. Okay, maybe I'll just copy this thing here. Okay, with this part here. Maybe I'll just go to the test data, and from here I can get a new query, and then maybe we can run it. Okay, use what I want to remove. I want to remove this one because we are already inside the database. So just create schema, incorrect syntax for the create class. CREAT create schema. सही तो है यार, क्या बोल रहे हैं? Separately, and then we'll create it separately, and then maybe we will have it now. And then inside TestDB, we have the tables. And if you see, this time my schema name is class and the table name is books. Okay. Okay, we got stuck in this. Sorry. So like you guys got up to this point, right? Or at like whatever we have learned today, or maybe I guess once you guys have those things installed, maybe from tomorrow we can do the hands-on as well, or from the next session. Okay.
Yeah.
So, or if anybody want to try it right now, you can just ask for the request to control my screen, and then maybe you can try on your own. Like obviously I'll guide you, but then if you want to try all those things, let me know. Anybody willing to try, or should we I guess I won't be covering any more, I won't cover any more concepts right now, because I guess that will be too much for the single day, right? So let me know if you guys are interested for this hands-on, or like any questions you guys have from your side. Like apart from this, what you have learned now, we can discuss other things as well. So maybe I'll just stop my sharing, stop my recording right now, and then we can have more questions. Okay.